Hey everybody, I'm Miguel Maravilla here with three-time world champion Senisia Super Bad Estrada. Senisia did fighter Maria Santizo out of Guatemala.
I'm sorry, it cut off a little at the end. I didn't understand what
All
you
right.
said.
Just you're fighting Maria Santizo from Guatemala. Let's talk about that fight.
Yeah, I'm fighting Maria Santizo from Guatemala, who trains and has had all her fights in Mexico. And she's an undefeated fighter, 9-0, 5 KOs. So it's definitely gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna go in there and be the best me that I can be. I don't have a specific game plan for this fight. I'm just gonna go in. I've been working on everything to make myself better and to perfect what I do. And I don't see this fight going the distance.
Okay, that's a pretty bold statement. What do you see her style? What does she represent, and what does she bring to the ring?
I would say just because she doesn't have too much experience as a professional, her style is a bit kind of all over the place. So in a way, fighters like that, it could be dangerous. I have to be more cautious because her stance is all over the place. Her punches come from weird different angles. Just because her technique and form isn't that good. So with fights like that, it could be dangerous. I just have to go in there and be extra cautious and just make sure that I'm doing everything correctly.
You're coming off a solid win over Tsunami. Give me your thoughts on that fight. How did you rate your performance overall?
On that fight, I rated my performance like a C. I went into the fight I overtrained for that fight. My camp was terrible. Felt terrible in sparring. I was exhausted every day, mentally, physically. Leading up to the fight for a whole week, I had to take time off of the gym because I had to get a root canal. And then the week after that, there was something wrong with like my hip, so I couldn't work out. So by the time I did get back to training, I had to rush everything, spar back to back. Kind of just I overdid it just because I didn't have that much time to prepare after the things that kind of like set me back. So going into the fight from the very first round with Tsunami, I was so tired. I was exhausted. Like my body just didn't recover from training camp. I was just not there mentally, physically, and yeah, but it's cool to experience that overtraining for the first time because I've never experienced that before. So now with this camp, I've been taking it easy. I've been getting plenty of rest. I've been, my sparring has been just scheduled out, back to normal. So I'm not overworking or anything. So I feel great mentally and physically. So I'm excited to go in there being well prepared this time.
Wow, everything you mentioned, of course, about that that last training camp, the stuff that you experienced. Obviously, that was an ingredient or recipe for, for why you feel you performed. So obviously, it was a learning lesson. So you moved up, you've adjusted this camp, right?
I did, yes. And
fighting up. Oh, go for it. Go on.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
That fight did take place in a huge venue at Bank of California Stadium. What was it like fighting in a venue like that? You fought in a lot of
really
venues.
Cool. Yeah, it was really cool to fight there in LA. I fought at the StubHub, I fought at the Forum, downtown Los Angeles, but to fight at Bank of California was really cool. It just added a different venue to the list, and to have all my supporters there was awesome. The crowd was definitely showing love for me, so it was great.
This fight with Santizo, this will be your second fight in the Lone Star state of Texas. What was it like fighting your last fight there? I believe you took on Ortiz.
About Ortiz. Yeah, it was great. I love fighting in Texas. Texas is a great great fight place. Texas boxing fans are great. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to meeting new fans and having another fun fight in Texas.
Well, not to overlook Santizo, but what's out there in your radar in your division? What other plans? It seems like you've almost wiped out whatever's been coming at you.
Well, next I'm going to be fighting. My plans are to unify. I want all the belts at 105, and I also want to have all the belts at 108 as well. So my next fight, I'm going to be facing Costa Valle, who has the IBF world title at 105. That'll be my first fight of 2022. So after this fight, we're going to definitely have a contract signed and be preparing for that unification fight next.
You mentioned Yoko Valle. She's actually been, stateside. She's been, making the rounds, attending the events, and she is looking for that fight with you. What can you say about her as far as the type of fighter she is?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. It's a good matchup as far as styles, but I just see so many flaws in what she does, and I'm just looking forward to just capitalizing on all the mistakes that she makes. And I'm very confident that I'm gonna have the IBF world title and the WBA world title after I face her.
You mentioned these world titles. You're a 3-time world champion. You've accomplished pretty good stuff so far. Women's boxing, we've talked about it numerous times. It's on the rise. There's a lot of talk about the face of women's boxing. Different fighters. What makes Senisia Estrada the face of women's boxing?
Just my style, man. My style for sure. I feel like it's not seen in women's boxing. It's not even seen in boxing in general. My footwork, the different punches that I can throw, my movement, my speed, timing, accuracy. I think, and people haven't even seen the best of me. So I haven't even hit that prime of my career yet. And I just think that anyone who watches me fight, it's undeniable that I'm, one of the most skilled fighters.
You have, first time I saw you fight, you had some Roy Jones in you. Talk about how you looked up to Roy Jones,
Yeah, Roy Jones is definitely my favorite fighter, Roy Jones and Sugar Ray Leonard. So I always looked up to Roy Jones. I would watch him fight when I was a kid and then try to copy all his moves and his defense and his punches. So Roy played a huge influence in my style in the ring. So yeah.
What's been your favorite fight of his to watch?
Oh man, I love all of Roy's fights. I just randomly rewatch just random fights of his all the time. So except for the fights that he got knocked out in and fights that he loses. So I don't watch those, but I watch all the good fights. So yeah, they're all my favorites.
Awesome. So what can we expect from Senisia Estrada come fight night? What do you plan to give the fans, media, everyone watching?
I plan to give everyone watching an exciting fight. Like I said, I'm not overlooking my opponent whatsoever at all. I never overlook anybody, but I'm very confident in my training camp and very confident in the way I feel about this fight and the matchup. So I don't see it going the distance.
Well, Senisia, good luck to you. Look forward to watching this fight. As always, pleasure watching you fight. So don't miss it. Senisia Estrada versus Maria Santizo, Saturday, December 18th, live on the Zone. That'll be the co-feature to the Zurdo Ramirez Yuneski Gonzalez fight.
Hi, thank you so much.